A huge win for the Second Amendment. The Supreme Court rules in favor of constitutional carry and, in effect, crushes gun control across the nation. We're going to take a look at the ruling. We're going to see how it has all but killed the absurd plans for gun control among our feckless Republicans. And stick with the very end of this video when we'll see how the Second Amendment revolution that's sweeping the nation is also going to sweep these feckless Republicans out of office. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. I am your Patriot professor at your service, so make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and also make sure to click on that link below and get yourself one of these, right? Since we're redefining everything, why don't we start calling this a cordless hole puncher? You can get some of the best Patriot merchant gear out there at store.turleytalks.com. It's a great way to both support this channel and spread Patriot hope far and wide. The designs are punchy and fun, but gang, they're not all going to last for long, so make sure to grab one for yourself, grab one for the Patriots in your life. Click on that link below. Go to store.turleytalks.com. That is store.turleytalks.com. Cordless hole puncher. All right, let's dive right in here. We got some breaking news. We got a major gun control decision coming from the Supreme Court, and it is a huge win for the Second Amendment. The Supreme Court has just struck down a New York gun control law that required people to show, quote, proper cause to get a license to carry a concealed handgun outside the home. So much for your right to bear arms in New York. I mean, keep in mind, the Second Amendment clearly states that American citizens have the right to bear arms. We've got a constitutional right to carry guns, but apparently the Democrat monopoly in New York doesn't think so, but too bad for them. SCOTUS has stepped in and struck down the laws blatantly unconstitutional. In the 6-3 ruling, I love that, by the way. I love saying that, 6-3. We've been hearing that a lot lately. In a 6-3 ruling, the court found that New York's regulations that made it ridiculously difficult to obtain a concealed carry license were unconstitutionally restrictive. I mean, obviously so. But who gets to decide what, quote, proper cause is? The only person, according to the Second Amendment, the only human being on the planet that should decide what the proper cause is for carrying a concealed weapon is the person carrying it. It's the person bearing it. It's what shall not be infringed means. But then again, you're dealing with a political party and ideology that sees all kinds of things in the Constitution that our founding fathers never even imagined. So if they could see things that are not there, well, then obviously they can be blind to things that are actually there. I mean, staring them right in the face. Now, this is a huge victory, all right? Especially in the shadow of these feckless, worthless, gutless haters of patriots everywhere, rhino neocons who just betrayed their voters to go along with the Democrats. This is ridiculous gun control legislation. This ruling today, I think, makes it very clear that whatever ridiculous shenanigans these gutless traitors want to pull with this legislation will ultimately get struck down by the Supreme Court, because that's been the pattern of late. It's been the pattern of late of almost the last 15 years in the Supreme Court. It all goes back. It was cited today. It all goes back to Heller versus District of Columbia back in 2008, which effectively reversed the court's long-standing position that the right to bear arms is merely a collective militia right that state governments were free to regulate however they wished. In other words, up until 2008, okay, up to this Heller versus District of Columbia, the Supreme Court had been pretty consistent in their ruling that the Second Amendment was a general rule of gun ownership that could be regulated in any way that state governments wanted to. As of 2008, that perspective effectively died. Now the Supreme Court says, no, the Second Amendment doesn't just apply to militias. It applies to each and every individual person. It's not a collective or corporate right that says, militia in a way that can be redefined and categorized in any way state governments wanted to. No, according to the Heller versus District of Columbia decision, each and every person, each and every citizen has a right to own a firearm, and state governments cannot thwart that right of any individual to gun ownership. Justice Alito cited Heller in the majority ruling, saying, quote, Although Heller concerned the possession of a handgun in the home, the key point that we decided was that the people, not just members of the militia, people have the right to use a firearm to defend themselves. And Justice Thomas weighed in as well on this. Quote, nothing in the Second Amendment's text draws a home public distinction with respect to the right to keep and bear arms. And the definition of bear naturally encompasses public carry. So this court has been absolutely on fire of late. And what is so fascinating here with this radical move towards embracing the protection and protecting the Second Amendment is that it's not just happening at the federal level with the Supreme Court. We're seeing it at state and local levels as well. And we just talked about this in yesterday's video. The vast majority of all U.S. counties have officially been designated Second Amendment sanctuaries. As of today, there are 1,930 counties protected by Second Amendment sanctuary legislation at either the state level or the county level, which represents 61% of the 3,141 counties in the nation. So nearly 2,000 counties of our just over 3,000 counties are now officially Second Amendment sanctuaries. In addition, countless sheriffs across the nation have pledged to uphold the Second Amendment, including every single sheriff in the state of Utah. And this massive embracing and protecting the Second Amendment, it goes beyond that. We also have a number of constitutional carry laws that are being acted as we speak. Constitutional carry, if you don't know, it involves laws that expressly state that a citizen's right to literally bear arms does not require any kind of certification, all right, any kind of permission. The FBI background checks when buying a gun are enough. If you can purchase a gun, you can carry it, period. End of discussion, right? You don't need a license. Over in the state of Indiana, they became the 24th state to institute a constitutional carry law. That bill was signed just a few weeks back. Georgia is about to become the 25th state. The state house overwhelmingly passed constitutional carry, and that's expected to be signed into law very soon by Governor Kemp. So all of this astonishing move to the right on the Second Amendment really does raise a question. Why on earth are Republicans embracing the left when it comes to guns? Now, if you missed it, here's what Tucker Carlson had to say about it.
Apart from Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, very few Republican office holders are pushing back in any way against anything Joe Biden is doing. In fact, they're abetting what he's doing. Effectively, they're coming to Joe Biden's rescue. Why are they doing this? Why do you think they're doing it? Because fundamentally, they're on Joe Biden's side. Whatever stylistic differences Republicans in Washington may have with Democrats, and there are some, in the end, Mitch McConnell has far more in common with Chuck Schumer than he does with your average Republican voter. Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer are united in their fear of populism and in their gut-level loathing of the American public. And they're not alone. What Washington fears most is democracy, that is, letting voters have what they want. That's not allowed. Republicans and Democrats have formed a uniparty specifically to prevent it. You see this everywhere, but you see it most clearly in the gun control legislation that's in the Senate right now.
It's a brilliant point, and one I must say that we make each and every day on this channel, so make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. The current crop of Republicans and Democrats together make up what we affectionately refer to here as the permanent political class. And the permanent political class, by definition, governs according to their own values, interests, and concerns, which have grown increasingly alienated from the values, interests, and concerns of the people. They don't want democracy. Contrary to everything you hear from their lying lips, they don't want democracy. Precisely because democracy gets in the way, it interrupts their business model. If you didn't know the average net worth of a sitting senator today, did you know it's $3 million? Getting elected to Congress or any high office for that matter has become a very lucrative business venture that populists across the country are threatening each and every day. This is why McConnell and Cornyn and Graham and Romney hate you every bit as much as Schumer and Pelosi hate you. They've effectively formed themselves into a uniparty precisely to protect their own interests, particularly their own financial interests, at your expense, at the expense of your constitutional rights, of your border, of your personal savings, of your economy, our cities and urban areas. All of these sectors of our society are literally crumbling right before our very eyes. And what did these feckless Republicans in Congress do about it? They send $40 billion of your money to Ukraine because according to Mitch McConnell and I Patch McCain, that's the most pressing and important issue in our world today. Now, the good news is that the Patriot movement is growing like never before. The days of the rhino neocons are indeed coming to a decisive end. The only question is how much damage can they inflict in the meantime? It's certainly refreshing to see that at least when it comes to the Second Amendment, the conservatives on the Supreme Court have said loud and clear, enough. Now, before we go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on the J6 committee imploding as live hearings have been suspended indefinitely. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.